Good morning from Dixieland Farm, and look, I'm wearing my professional sim pilot shirt, and we're going to be doing a flight here from Columbia, where we landed last time, to Wilmington, North Carolina. But it's not morning. No, it is evening in the sim here. We're going to be doing a night flight, so I'm not going to be showing you too much, but I'm going to try to show off some of the wonderful nighttime effects here in X-Plane, and one of them, of course, I'm using the aviation red lights. That way I can at least see a couple of things as I click around here and get this this baby turned on here. But besides being a night flight, we're also going to be doing a GPS flight, which I don't do too often. So let's get the battery on and turn the lights on, and now I can turn off the aviation flashlight now that we got the cabin light on. Let's go ahead and load up the GPS, and let's go ahead and put in a flight plan, which I am, be honest with you, not the greatest at, but let's see. Come down here and let me pull up some information. We're going to Coint. All right. So I do enter. What do I do here? There I do. And then Delco, but I'm actually going to be putting in JDIB here because that's going to give me a good indication when I should start my descent. So JDIB, and then the airport for Wilmington. All right, so we got our flight plan loaded in. Fantastic. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. All right. 2-4 at 3 knots, so 2-3 is perfect. We're almost lined up. Great. Let's get our cabin lights on. And we can come up here and turn off that light. How cool does that look? All right. I'm going to go online, put in our information, and I'll be right back. All right, I just entered my flight plan, and I got a squawk code, so I'm going to head put in that squawk code right now. Anything else we can do? Sure, we can turn on the TCAS and see if we get any planes in the area. Other than that, I think just a run-up, which we can do right now. All right, so we're going to do a mag check. Slight drop on both engines. A slight drop on both engines. That's good. And let's go ahead and cycle the prop. So RPMs go down, manifold pressure goes up, and the oil pressure goes down. That's correct. So what do you think of the lighting at night? Pretty cool, huh? Plus 60 frames a second, so I probably could turn up the anti-aliasing, but it's fine. I'd rather have the frame rate. Make a call, and then we are ready to go out. So change that to GPS, so that way we can follow. And remember, we're taking off on runway 22. So probably put the heading bud to 22. Here we go. Columbia traffic, this is Twin Piper 5522 Lima, taking runway 23 for a left crosswind departure. Columbia. Alright, nobody's coming. We're all lit up here. Mixture's full rich. 2-3, saw it. And 100 and rotate. Positive rate, gear up. .600 feet, we can lose our flaps. All right. Making our turn. And we're going to stay here for a little bit. Here's a quick outside shot for you. Alright, enough of that nonsense because it's really hard to concentrate. And yeah, we're good to go. We're good to go ahead and put on nav mode. Put it in attitude mode also. And they would probably not, they'd probably give us a vector here, so let's go ahead and vector ourselves just slightly onto course and not grabbing the blue line. And what I mean was, instead of me going like all the way over to get that blue line, what I'm doing is I'm giving myself a vector to intercept the blue line there. Or is it the red line? I'm colorblind. I can't tell. Alright, so we're just keeping this pitch here. 2,000 feet a minute. So we're climbing up at a nice clip. No pressurization because we're going to be doing 9,000 feet a minute. But what we'll do also is pay attention here and level off at 9,000 feet. So there we go, departing Columbia in the background there. Alright, let's get ready for that handoff, but let's also put it into nav mode now. Since we blew past that while I was doing the outside shot. 88, 89, 9,000. You have successfully taken off, and here we are, flying up in the great, beautiful, clear night sky here in X-Plane. So it looks like I will be talking to a controller at some point. So here we go. We're taking off. Wilmington is directly in just beginning of Washington Center, so 133.725, so I can go ahead and dial that into my radio. But yeah, we're just cruising along here. And it'll be like this for probably 20 minutes or so. And then all the way at the end, that's when everything's going to happen. 133.725. But in the meantime, I certainly can pull up other information. So let's pull up Wilmington. Let's grab that information. Let's grab the airport diagram. The weather is 240 at 9 knots. So what procedure can I load in? Well, there's an ILS for runway 24. And there's an RNAV for 24. So let's look at the RNAV. All right. And then the ILS. All right. So we're going to request the RNAV, which I don't really know very well. But what they'll probably do is vector me out. And then come in here for Topsy. Most likely, but yeah, that's what we'll do.
At Southwest 889 is cleared to the Boston Logan Airport via the Swan 3 departure, Swan transition, and then as filed. Maintain 4,000, expect flight level 310, minutes after departure. Departure control with me, squawk 0506.
And if you're just wondering where our progress is, right here is where I was doing the outside shot for you guys, and then I'm like, I actually passed where I was supposed to connect with my route, so then we kind of recorrected. So we've got quite a bit to go before we reach Washington's airspace here. It's really all the way at the end, so even my descent is going to be all managed by myself.
Southwest 199, contact the New York Center 125.32. Happy landing, thanks for stopping by.
And just in case you didn't know, yeah, it's got traffic on the roads, so kind of a busy highway there, huh? Not much traffic on the interstate, from what I can tell here, huh? Well, it's late at night, but we do have a police officer. Go get him. And because the controller's on, he's probably going to give us a visual for runway 22, which is totally fine. I'm not married to the idea of having to do the RNAV, so I will still dial in the localizer just to have that as reference and switch over at some point. It might be more interesting and fun to do the visual when it's so dark out. You might have seen those lights kind of come in, so it doesn't draw the lights all the way into the distance to save frames. Otherwise, it would be keeping track of way too many things, and it's just, unfortunately, is a kind of a thing that you have to do with the sim. So it's only, I think, 20 miles out. So now we're just watching the countdown here, and basically, when we get to 5 miles from JDIB, we'll give him a call. Alright, this is maybe the coolest thing ever. So it's got my GPS up on the screenshot. If I turn off and put it into nav mode, it changes. Oh, that is so cool, huh? Oh. Flight plan. Nav. Can we even zoom in a little bit? Oh, that is so cool. It's one of those details I just never noticed because, yeah, during the day it's so bright. So 18 miles, and we're going to call him about 5 or 6 miles out. And if we look, we're going 255 knots ground speed. Even though we are only traveling about, well, indicated airspeed says 215, but you know, true airspeed's more than that. Washington Center, this is Twin Piper 5522 Lima.
Number 5522 Lima, Washington Center, good morning, radar contact. Number 5522 Lima, the Wilmington altimeter 296, when you have a moment, say approach request.
906, and we'll take the visual for 24.
November 5522 Lima, roger, you can expect that. Southwest 3592 radar contact, climb and maintain flight level 230, say altitude.
So the reason why I requested the visual is because I'm not really then tied to anything, right? It'll be easier for me if you do an actual procedure. You'll have to be vectored there, and then there's a mist.
808 Whiskey, no traffic is observed between you and the Wallops Airport. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. Report your IFR cancellation either on this frequency, either in the air or on the ground.
So it gives me a little bit more flexibility. So he'll just basically probably vector me into a
Number
base.
808 Whiskey, roger, IFR cancellation is received at 131.
Way easier to do.
Squawk VFR, radar service terminated, and thanks for stopping by. Have a good day.
Washington Center, good morning. This is JetBlue 2614, maintain flight level 3402.
JetBlue 2614, Washington Center, roger, good morning. Southwest 3592, climb, maintain flight level 400.
So one of the nice things about this plane, there's a hidden thing here, so that way you can use the autopilot up here opposed to having to always scroll up and down, so that way I can keep my eyes a little more focused. Because, you know, normally...
2084, fly runway heading, wind 2360 at 10, runway 30, cleared for takeoff.
So normally, you know, my hand would be able to hit attitude, but I can't at the moment, so this way I can I can just do that, right? So that's most likely Wilmington drawn all the way out there. That's again one of the little quirks of X-Plane at the moment with night. The airports, they'll draw out a little farther, but that's okay. So I'm just maintaining 9,000 because he's going to tell me when to descend. So I'm just hanging on here.
Number 5522 Lima, pilot's discretion to send and maintain 3000.
Set and maintain 3,000. And you want us to fly present heading, or do you want us to continue then towards the airport on our flight plan?
Number 5522 Lima, flight heading 070 vectors, visual runway 24 approach.
I'm sorry, what was the heading again?
Number 5522 Lima, flight heading 070.
070 for a 22 Lima and 3,000 pilot discretion. Now we're going to come down a little bit more than that. So that, okay, so there we go. So he's got his 070. Do I really have that? I'm coming down 700 feet a minute. Anything else we can do?
And United 2084, when able, proceed direct raise and resume on navigation.
Yes, because we are now off, we can put the VLOC on the localizer.
Well, I tend to call it raising, but it's a standby hit. Maybe it's not in your flight plan.
And he's giving us vectors.
Yeah, it is. It's in your flight plan. It's raising. It's Romeo, Romeo, Sierra, India, November. JetBlue 2614, Roger, approved. Report back.
And there's the airport.
Roger, we report.
It looks like we need to come down a little bit faster than that. And let's go ahead and start reducing that speed.
United 2084, climb maintain flight level 360.
Let's bring us down to 180.
Number 5522 Lima, the Wilmington Airport at your 2 to 3 o'clock and 10 miles.
Airport in sight for 22 Lima.
Number 5522 Lima, Roger, thank you. Clear visual approach runway 24.
Clear visual for 24 for 22 Lima. Alright. So that's runway 17. We need to kind of come around for 24. But also 3,000 feet, right? So.
And November 5522 Lima, wind 270 at 5, runway 24, clear to land.
Clear to land for runway 24 for 22 Lima. So now he's giving me, I can just do whatever I want. So the plan here is to hold at 3,000 as we come along. We should see that localizer pop in at some point. So there's the 3,000. I'm holding at 3,000, and we do have the localizer, IGMX.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Richmond, thank you. And which star are you planning?
So there's the runway there. Do you see it?
All right, do you have you loaded either of those into your navigation system already?
Yes, I have loaded all of them into my...
And I'm just going to turn off the autopilot now and just hand fly this. So much easier. So
I'm arriving on runway 02.
Okay, are you able to Spider 4 arrival for on by
fuel pumps are on. Got the marker. We can go ahead and drop gear. We can drop flaps. That'll slow us down. And we're quite high at the moment, but not a problem. We're far enough away that we should be able to capture that glide slope.
Yes, we are able to Spider 4 arrival.
Anything else we need to do? Fuel pumps are on.
by
Coming
288,
down.
Roger. Cleared to the Richmond Airport via present position direct to the Montebello VOR when able, and then join the Spider 4 arrival.
Look how beautiful that is. Holy crap. Let me take a screenshot of that. Hold on. All right. So, am I paying attention? No, I'm taking screenshots. All right.
And Envoy 288, when you have a chance, reset transponder squawk 3655.
3655 for Envoy 288.
So we're coming down just fine, and there is the glide slope. So now I can add a little engine power.
American 325, contact the New York Center 125.32. Happy landing, thanks for stopping by. American 325, Washington Center.
All right, so we're on the glide slope here. Probably could go a little faster, but you know, everything is like picture perfect right now. I'm just gonna kind of hold it. So by on the glide slope, you see out there I've got 2 white, 2 red, and here the vertical horizontal line is flat. So that what that's telling me is I'm coming down at like a proper pitch of roughly 3 degrees. So now I'm a little under the glide slope, just slightly. So I'm just making a correction, just a small correction here to get back onto that glide slope. By playing with my power here.
Terrain.
Washington Center, Power Club 6.
I'm 500
coming up
feet
on,
above the ground. That's what that terrain warning was. And also, it gets way more sensitive the closer I am.
6 Washington Center, Roger. And thank you, guys. Descend by the field before arrival, the Newark altimeter 29998.
Descend via the Philbrook 4, Power Club 6.
Okay, so I never turned off my landing lights, which is perfect for this plane, right?
American 325, Roger. Have a good day.
So now it says I'm slightly high, which that's probably true.
For Envoy 288, we'll begin a progressive descent down to our final arrival.
See that
American,
slight light
Envoy
that comes
288,
into,
Roger. Are you ready
into
to
view
descend
with
now?
the landing light? See? Now it lights it all up.
No, I'll give it till I get to do that. Then I would like to descend.
Right, Envoy 288, Roger. You can descend by the Spider 4 arrival at Richmond. Let's see what I can give you here. Stand by for the altimeter. Five 5522 Lima, taxi to parking via Alpha and remain this frequency. Have a good day. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks so much for the service for 22 Lima. Let's go ahead and disconnect from the network, and we can go ahead and do a quick replay here, right? So now, one of the things is judging your height is not the easiest thing to do when it's dark, and it's certainly not easy to do in the sim. So it said a poor and a late flare. That's because, you know, I just really wanted to make sure I didn't slam down on the ground. But we landed at a perfectly acceptable feet per minute, so it wasn't that big of a jump. Let's see if we can see it from this perspective, what it really looked like as we came down. So center line and all that, pretty good. And then as we come in, right, flare, 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 just held it off. And then I ended up, yeah, going up a little bit when I probably should have. Here, I can show you. So slow motion, right? So as I'm coming down here, see, I start to rise just a little bit. If I just held it where it was, it would have been perfect. But then that ended up losing a little bit of energy, and boom. So, but still, still, that was a hell of a landing. Especially because I don't do night very often. So, instead of blinding people here, let's go ahead and get inside the plane. Let's turn off the avionics. Let's go ahead and turn off the squawk. So that's done. Let's go ahead and turn on the interior light here. So that way, it won't be a big deal when we cut the power. Turn off the nav lights. And we can turn off the panel lights. No, there we go. Pull up. Let's do magics like that. And we open the door so all of you can get out of the plane. There we go. So you can see sort of in the shadow there the cones are in place. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this flight. I certainly had a great time. I'm so happy that the controller was on and that I kind of knew what I was doing, which is always a good thing. So I'll still probably practice an RNAV in the plane, but there's really nothing to it. And also, you can also see why it's sort of boring. Because once you're going, you just hit the button and it's over. So he gave me a vector, and that was also, it's more challenging to do a visual, especially at night, because I had to look at the airplane. I had to make sure I was, a beam, downwind. So and then make my base turn, and then turn on to final. I had to do all that at night by myself, no reference. We were a little high, but not really, because we were totally stable coming in. Yeah, just a fantastic flight, which is why I'm a professional sim pilot, everybody. So, from Dixie Night Farms, or Dixieland Farms, at night. Take care.